The questions are a bit late. Hello and welcome everyone, as always, to the after-market analysis session of the Indian markets Nifty and Bank Nifty. After the closing of Nifty and Bank Nifty, we look at their order flow to see where the buyers showed interest, where the sellers showed interest, and basically, we check how and where the footprint gave confirmation today. If you are new and want to learn order flow, want to learn how to read the footprint properly, then you can join this daily live webinar. The link for this live webinar is uploaded on GoCharting's Discord and Telegram community before 5 p.m. in the evening, and also, if you are using GoCharting at that particular time, then you can also access the webinar link from here itself. Along with that, any valuable notifications from GoCharting are also available to you here. For example, GoCharting has just launched its new referral program, and you get 20% off every payment made through your referral. Meaning, if anyone makes a purchase using your referral, you will get 20% of that. Okay, to know the complete details about this, you can go to the notifications and click on Learn More here, and you can read in full detail about how this referral program works. Okay, Alvin, please give me a few minutes. I will take your doubts. Okay. Before reading the footprint, let's quickly take a look at the previous few sessions to see what was the interest in the volume profile. Where was the volume profile being built? Let's also check if there were any specific levels in the volume profile and all these things once. Okay, so how will we look at the volume profile? There's nothing too complicated about it. We'll just look at the volume profile of the last few sessions. For example, first of all, yesterday's volume profile. What was formed in this volume profile? As soon as the market opened, it was bullish and then became sideways here, so the same confirmation was given by the volume profile as well, that the volume profile showed two nodes. The first node is this one, and the second node is this one. Alright, so we marked its low. We marked its high, and this is where the epoch zone is. That means this became the range if it breaks on the upside. See here, for 3 days the market was stuck at this level. This was the consolidation zone formed over these 3 days. We marked this as well. If it breaks below this, then this was the consolidation epoch zone of the last few sessions. We marked this as well, and then if this also breaks, then here too, the market remained sideways for 2 to 3 days, so its consolidation was here. That means, first of all, we looked at yesterday's volume profile, then above the last few days, and then below the last few days. Okay, in this way, we identified some such levels from the volume profiles. Okay, now we will look at these very levels. We will take confirmation from the order flow and see how the footprint is giving us any confirmation. How the footprint is providing any confirmation, meaning on these volume profile levels, where are the buyers interested and where are the sellers interested. Okay, now we will observe all these things here. Basically, we will take confirmation from the order flow. Now, before we learn how to properly read the footprint, we should know what delta is. Because it's been 6 months since this webinar started, and for 6 months, we have been learning just one thing, and that is how to read the footprint with the help of delta. Now, how is this delta formed? It's a simple thing. This is today's first candle. This is the footprint of the first candle, meaning who bought or sold at which point. In this footprint, those on the right side are buyers, and those on the left side are sellers. So, we have added up all the buyers on the right side of this particular, the first candle. Suppose the total of all buyers comes to 2,06,000. Okay, 2,06,000, and we have added up all the sellers on the left side. In the footprint, okay, suppose the total of this comes to around 1 lakh, alright. We are taking a value just to understand how delta is formed. So when we subtracted these two, buyers and sellers, from each other, what is more? Buyers are more because sellers are 1 lakh and buyers are 2,06,000. So if we subtract both, what will we get here? 1,06,000. 1,06,000, okay. On which side is it more? It's on the buyer's side, so this value comes here inside a green box, and in the language of delta, we call this a positive delta, okay, because buyers are more. Now let's copy this candle. What is the delta of this candle? 25k means 3 zeros after 25, so it becomes 25,000. Remove the k and add 3 zeros. Now it's inside the red box, okay, and there is a negative sign in front of this value, so that means this is a negative delta. Negative delta means, boss, that there are more sellers inside this candle. We call this negative delta. Wherever there are more sellers, we refer to it as negative delta. Okay, now you have understood what delta is. Now pick any one candle. Any one candle. I picked this candle. I saw the delta of this candle, 38,000 on the seller's side. I understood that there was more selling inside this particular candle. You get it, right? We can quickly look at any candle and tell who is stronger inside that candle. Whether the buyer is stronger or the seller is stronger with the help of delta. Now look, the delta of the first candle is high, meaning the value is around 1 lakh. The second one is 78,000, 64,000. And then look at this. Suddenly it's just 8,000, okay. 71,000, even 25,000 is fine. Suddenly it's 12,000. All of a sudden, 7,000, 7,000, 5,000. Now let's talk about both positive and negative together. It means there are some candles whose delta is very high and some candles whose delta is very low. So, the candles whose delta is very high, there has been a lot of buying and selling within those candles, and these are the candles where big players like DIIs and FIIs are quite active. And the candles whose delta is very low, there hasn't been such solid buying and selling in those candles. So, what is the better option for us? That we read the footprints of those candles which have a heavy delta and focus only on the buying and selling zones of those candles. And the candles whose delta is very low, we can even skip those candles because there is nothing solid in them. Okay. So now, let's start reading from the very first candle and see what was happening and how, at which places. In the first candle, there is always a lot of heavy buying and selling, and many times that heavy buying or selling does not get followed in that direction. This is the specialty of the first candle. Okay, so always trade the first candle with caution. What confirmation did today's first candle give? This is yesterday's VPOC zone. Okay. Yesterday's volume node. There were two volume nodes yesterday, right? The first one was here, and the second one was around this line, and the first volume node was also near the VPOC zone. Okay, this makes this node even more special. So, what confirmation did the first candle give? There was a pretty good rejection from here, right? And there was quite a bit of buying activity as well. Now, how will we read the footprint? First of all, we'll look at the delta. The delta is significant, it's a heavy delta. That means the delta value is high. What did the delta indicate? There are more buyers. It jumped towards the buyer's side. Now, which is that particular spot where the maximum buying happened? That specific spot is where there's a delta of 52k, 39k, and 41k. We'll mark this very candle. By marking this candle, I mean we'll mark the buying zones of this candle. Isn't it? Whatever buying activity has happened, whichever buying or selling activity will impact the market, we are marking only those zones. Okay, so just like we marked this candle, we marked the buying zones of the first candle. What happened in the next candle, boss? Now, whatever volume is there in the second candle, you can say that all the unstable buying and selling had already happened in the first candle. Now, whatever volume comes in the second candle will come in a stable market. So, what happened in the second candle? And if we read both the second and third candles together, what happened here? There was back-to-back buying in both of them. It means buying started from the first candle. There was buying in the second candle as well, and even in the third candle. And along with the buying in all three candles, one thing we observed is that the price moved up quite well. Okay, now what is the issue here? One is that there is a swing high of Nifty at this point. Swing high means the high that Nifty has made in the last few trading sessions. Let me show it to you all as well. This is the one, okay, and Nifty has come back above this level again. Alright, okay boss, no problem. Let's see what kind of confirmation it gives us going forward. We had marked the buying zones of the first candle. Now, what confirmation is the second candle giving? That there has been even bigger buying within it. Look at this. Buying of 86k and buying of 41k, then a pullback came. There was a slight pullback, but resistance came right here itself. What happened here today is that the movement was quite big. As soon as the market opened, there was movement. Look at this, if we see from the seller's side. Just like, as soon as it opened, it shot up like a rocket, and as soon as there was some action here, buyers came in strongly and didn't let the price fall. This was quite a big buying imbalance as well. Today, there was a very big buying imbalance, a really huge buying imbalance. Okay, first buying zone, second buying zone. Alright, even in the third candle, there was buying. But if we read the buyer's orders a bit, there was buying of 86k, buying of 41k, buying of 52k. What does that mean? Till now, the biggest buying orders placed, boss, are around 50 and 80. Alright, so the orders around these are the ones we will consider as buying and selling. There was buying, the price moved up, but what happened? The market got stuck at resistance. What happened now? There was another buying on the 945 candle. Which one is the 945 candle? Look at this, a super positive delta of 71. What are the buying zones for this candle, boss? Look at this, buying of 89 and buying of 39. Till now, the biggest buying was of 52 and 86. Here, there is buying of 89 and again buying of 40. One more buying attempt happened. Here, it's fine, the resistance has been broken and a buying attempt was made. Here, the resistance was broken and a buying attempt was made. Now, this has been seen quite a few times that whenever the resistance is broken, like here the resistance was broken. Now look at the last few sessions. If after buying, the price continues to move up, then it's fine. But here, somewhere there is a limit. Sellers want that the price should not go above this. You will see heavy buying activity, but if the price does not go up after that buying activity, then the same thing happened here today as well. The swing high was broken once. Buyers made an attempt. But look at this, the next two candles after this candle clearly showed that the buying has been absorbed here somewhere. Alright, so what happened here? If we look at the market up to 955, what happened? There were three buying attempts. First buying attempt, second buying attempt, and third buying attempt. You can see in the first and second buying attempts, the pullback came nicely and got trapped. No problem at all. There was a good pullback. Alright, the market also went up. It easily gave you a 1, 2 or even 2. But what happened here is that in the third buying attempt, we saw the highest buying values. Look at this 89, 39, and another 35. Somewhere these have also formed a complete absorption. Alright, but after this buying, the market came down, so here we saw some buying absorption happening. Okay, the market came down. What now? The market is still bullish right now, even though we saw buying absorption here above the resistance. But boss, there are also these buying zones on the downside, right? It's possible that the price comes back here on a full pullback and this happens. But what happened here? As soon as it came on the full pullback, we saw some selling. Look at this, around the 40 mark. Okay, the next candle showed a bit of selling again, and the third candle broke through all the buying zones completely. Whenever the market comes to a pullback, what we are expecting is that if there has been a bullish breakout and the market is bullish, then it should hold here without any selling activity so that sellers don't get interested and the market can move up again. But what did we see here? Selling around 38, which means that there are sellers present during the pullback. Hold on for a bit. In the next candle, it easily broke the previous low. There was some light selling in the previous candle as well. But here, the third candle just took the market down from here and it kept falling. It didn't get stuck anywhere at all. Look at this near the buy zones. It was held for about 10 to 15 minutes. This level, this buy zone was held well, and then there was an upside movement. Alright, here there was no holding. Every candle came and broke the previous candle's low, right? What happened here? The buy zones got broken. All the buy zones got broken. Now, the two biggest buy zones were this one and this one. This buy zone because it is also a resistance. Okay. And right here, the market got stuck. Speaker 2, okay. The price has come back to where it had opened. There was selling at 38. But within the selling of this candle, there wasn't any such zone that could be marked as a major resistance. There was selling within this candle as well. Selling at 51. Look at this, again selling at 51. What did the sellers indicate? There has been quite a bit of selling. The biggest selling zones are at 51 and this one at 31. This is where the selling happened, alright, but again, support has come in at the bottom. Just like there was resistance here, the node of the market's swing high was there, and here is yesterday's VPOC zone, which can act as support until it is broken on the downside. This candle broke it. Look, this candle easily broke through all the buying zones, broke them easily, and if you look at this zone, the selling at 51 was also broken somewhere by the very next candle, and this candle gave full confirmation that yes, all the selling zones of this candle have also been properly broken. Okay, again selling came in, there was a rejection. So what has happened here so far? Buying happened here, at this point. But there was no hold above the pullback. Selling came in, that's fine, but there was no hold above the pullback. And the special thing was that when selling came, it was exactly above the support zone, and when buying came, it was exactly above the resistance zone, and both of them got absorbed. Now here, there was another buying attempt, just look at this. Buying of 58 lots and buying of 26 lots. If you see inside this candle, there was no such buying visible. Meaning, the candle moved a lot, but that much buying was not seen. In the next candle, there is a buying order, quite a significant one. See here, buying of 88 lots, okay, and here is buying of 29 lots. Again, buying happened here. Again, the price came downwards, but a buying attempt was made, it was observed. A selling attempt was made. See here, the very next candles are holding above that. And this was the zone where, today, we saw the second biggest buying. Right above that same zone, another buying observation was made. Here, it's fine, a pullback came. This time, see, there were two buying observations, buyers came once and took the price up from here. Sellers came and broke that same zone on the downside. Around that same zone, a buying observation happened again. Now, this very zone is holding without any buying interest, right? So this is a good spot. It was nice to see that a buying observation happened and that same zone held without any buying interest. It held without any buying interest and came back to the same support zone. In this candle, there was some selling, which was also observed. Here, the next candle made it clear and the price went back up again. Now, what should we look for in Nifty today? See this. Today in Nifty, what we saw here was that in the initial few candles, buyers came in and tried to take the price up, but all of that got absorbed. Not all of it though. First, this happened, and even in the pullback, this buying zone did not hold. So we can say that both of them got absorbed. Sellers came in, but there was support below. Just like there were buyers above at the resistance, here when sellers came in, there was a support zone. During the pullback, the selling zone levels got broken. There was another buying attempt, but it got absorbed. But this time, this zone held up quite well, without any buying interest. Here too, there was a valid long position. Alright, because sellers were observed. Again, there was selling but the market failed to break through. It held without any buying interest. It came back to the support, and after that, the market kept moving the whole day between the first buying zone and the selling zone. This was a quick analysis of Nifty for today. Now, let's look at Bank Nifty. Bank Nifty was quite simple today. See here, in Bank Nifty, from the buying zone of the first two candles, look, in the first two candles, there was buying visible with a delta of 20,000, 10,000. From the buying zones of these two candles, the market just did not go above them. It broke towards the downside, and there was quite a good amount of selling of 25,000. The highest selling zone was 16,000. There was selling of 18,000, but see, within this candle, the maximum selling was of 16,000. But here, we saw a good amount of selling, 14,000 and 20,000. There was even bigger selling visible here compared to this candle. Okay. Marked this selling zone. Again, during the pullback, it showed that there was a selling observation here. It held. The zone of selling observation acted as a support zone, and we saw an upside movement. The buying in Bank Nifty in the morning was quite easy compared to Nifty. Here, the buying zone did not move upwards at all. In Nifty, it went up once, but during the pullback, it couldn't hold. Okay, this was today's quick analysis of Nifty and Bank Nifty. Now, whatever questions you all have, we will take them up.